Sorry about that. Had a camera issue. Next on the list would be red neurons were found in her brain. And they said that basically what that signifies is that she had lost oxygen, had a very severe lack of oxygen, somehow stayed alive until she ultimately passed away. Now, this would make sense if he murdered her, but it wouldn't make sense if he didn't. Now, let me tell you why. If he murdered her, he would have had this altercation, and I'll explain that later. He would have hit her over the head, thought he killed her, went to go clean up. Hour and a half later, 2 hours later. Red neurons take about 2 to 6 hours, from what I understand, to develop with severe lack of oxygen. So 2 hours later, let's say, he comes back, finds that she's still alive as he's cleaning up. She moves her legs, maybe puts her feet on the ground somehow to get blood on the bottoms of her feet. He then beats her again. He was washing the wall to try to clean up some of the blood. He realized she's moving, hits her again, more blood spatter. He then says, you know what, I'm just going to say she fell, maybe moved, rubbed against it, this and that. So that throws all the timing off right there. If she did indeed have these red neurons, they explained, and he found her at 1:45 or 2, that doesn't make sense if the paramedics got there 8 minutes later. So that's big. The spatter in the crotch of his shorts, that's very important because they explained that while, she was not dead but bleeding to death and he thought she was dead, they think he went downstairs to clean his shorts. Obviously, that's why his shorts were it was ridiculous how washed out the blood was in the front of those shorts. But it was very non-washed out in the crotch area. There were actually blood spatter spots under his shorts or in his crotch area. And it makes sense because he's trying to wipe it, and then he doesn't realize there's anything underneath in the crotch area. Wouldn't wipe that to get rid of blood spatter evidence. So I thought that was pretty interesting. That also explains kind of his whole cleaning up. He probably had an hour and a half or so, 2 hours to clean up, if it did indeed happen around midnight, 12:15. Basically, that explains the smearing on the walls, as I said. Not really talked about too much in the documentary. They just say smearing on the walls, and they attribute it to her rubbing against it, coughing, spitting blood all over, when indeed she wasn't internally injured, it was external, whatever. So when it comes to motive, now that's the big thing. They explain in the staircase that there really isn't a motive. In my opinion, there's a lot of motive. Money is the major motive, and second, I'd say, is his lifestyle being exposed. Now in the staircase, they really get into the bisexual part, and I didn't really understand why. I thought it was maybe just character assassination, credibility, all that, but it isn't. The reason it all came up was basically he was broke. They were broke. They were going broke. They had $143,000 in credit card debt. They had 5 kids they were trying to support. Her stock used to be worth $2.5 million. It was now worth less than $50,000. He had not made income in 2 years, which was pretty amazing to me. So what I believe happened was they were going broke. They were working through it, trying to find a way. There was obviously a lot of stress on the marriage due to that. But he had this hidden lifestyle. She never leaves her laptop at work. Occasionally, I guess, once in a great while. She happened to forget her laptop at work, had to use his computer to check her work email. Sure enough, she may come across these emails and the gay porn and all that he was looking at. Went and approached him and explained to him that she's leaving him. She's gonna, take the money, whatever it is. He gets very upset, not only because he's gonna lose all the money that she brings in with her salary. He's gonna lose his wife that he may or may not care about. His whole life's gonna be destroyed essentially. But on top of that, why is she leaving him? Because she found gay porn and letters to gay men who he's soliciting. That's a big deal for him. I mean, he had never come out as far as a bisexual, so that was being, basically him being exposed is a huge motive, I think, for him to kill her, to shut her up. Not only that, but she had a $2 million life insurance policy. That would obviously get him out of the money situation. A lot of weird stuff there. At the beginning of the documentary, or even at the end, I guess, I thought the jury was just a bunch of idiots. I'm watching this documentary, and it's so untruthful as far as what they portray and what's realistic, that I was like, how could they possibly come to a guilty verdict? I think they easily could have. Now that I watched the forensic files and I kind of put two and two together, Deaver seems to be working okay on this case. They made him look like a complete idiot in the staircase, but he seems to have done a decent job. I don't know if he did a great job, but he didn't do what they explained he did in the staircase. It sounded like they made him to sound like he's this huge, just making up evidence, doing whatever he can to convict. But there was a lot of stuff that he explained that really did make sense. The timing does not work. I'm coming to the conclusion that the timing does not work for the accident to have occurred. The timing does, however, work heavily if it was a murder. Again, very circumstantial, but I truly believe that he is guilty of murder. I wish they would have cut open the blowpoke that they found in his basement, because some of those lacerations could have been from that end that had the circular part where it could have actually dug into her scalp without damaging her. It was fairly light. I mean, that could have been a nice way. They could have cut that thing open and actually looked inside, because even if he washed it, there would be some blood inside. I doubt he went through and cleaned it with like a, I don't know, gun cleaning kit or whatnot. There should have been blood inside of that thing, especially if the tip fell off as a result of the beating. But I do feel like it wasn't the tip part that was used for the beating. It was more the circular side that did the damage, because that would cut right into the scalp. It wouldn't cause any type of destruction to the scalp. Or the skull, I should say. That's about it. I mean, I hope this helped you kind of understand why the staircase was so dishonest, in my opinion. I was emotionally invested into this show, and I feel after watching Forensic Files and kind of putting all this together, that's why I'm doing this video. I feel like I was extremely taken advantage of, and I feel like that's what most of TV is these days. Not only TV, but media. I mean, it's all about getting you locked in and feeling emotion, when in reality they're building emotion off of things that may or may not be true. And I also think that no matter what documentary it is, Making a Murderer, The Jinx, this one, The Staircase, I feel like there are always two sides to the story. So no matter what you do, if you watch these things, make sure you research behind the scenes on Google or whatnot and read all the other evidence, all the other people's opinions, and kind of put something together yourself. Hopefully that helps you. Let me know your comments. I'd love to know what you think as far as whether or not I'm being an idiot here. I very well may be. I don't even know why I'm doing this video. I just felt like it'd be fun to kind of put this together and kind of do my own thoughts on the investigation. So hopefully I'm not crazy. Probably am. But again, look forward to hearing your thoughts, and let me know what you think about the documentary and the Forensic Files episode. Good to go.